I'm Scott Russell, and on today's episode of Love Augusta, we're learning more about the Windsor Jewelers Green Box Scavenger Hunt. If you're one of the people that have been searching over the past 7 years in the CSRA for this amazing green box, then we have the story here for you about how it all got started with Shane Thompson, the creator of the Windsor Green Box Scavenger Hunt.
Yep.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about where this idea came from?
Yeah, for sure. This is one of those things that if you've been turning over every single rock in the CSRA for years, you may have been looking for this. But the story is quite a interesting one. My background's in marketing, and when we talk about Windsor, a lot of people approach us as too high and above, or scary, or spooky, or intimidating, and what my job was is to figure out how to break down the wall in between us and the consumer. And so what I did is I decided that I was going to come up with an idea to try to get the public to interact with our store, and not necessarily in a way that they would feel that they needed to purchase something, but just come and interact. If you can make it through our doors and chat with our staff, you'll be kind of hooked, because our staff are different than many other jewelry stores and retail places.
And you're definitely going to find something you like.
Right, but even if you don't, our staff are, they love the game. They love people coming in. A lot of these people don't purchase anything, but they give high fives, and we talk about the clues, and the idea is that we kind of break the ice. You come in, play the game, and then you kind of see how good this place really is without any kind of expectation to make a purchase.
And it's been going on for 7 years, and I've had people message me about it, obsessed with finding the green box, but it's because of the amazing prizes you put in there. But I think it's more so just crazy clues that you come up with.
Yep.
for the riddles. And is there, like, how do you just spend your whole life coming up with these riddles, or what?
No, the crazy, what's even crazier, because they're crazy riddles, but I come up with them oftentimes on the fly. So it's day by day, I just spit them out. So I'll be driving and I'll reword something in my head, or I'll be in the shower and I'll think, oh, this sounds better this way, or it's more confusing, or it's not. You want to be as accurate as you can be and still as vague as you can be. And then you want it, when we reveal, or I put up the answers, you want it to somewhat make sense. But you want, okay, I see how they could have figured that out. Mm-hmm. That's the goal, and that's really much more difficult than it sounds.
Oh, I believe it, because I think there was one last year that involved the train from the Hunger Games.
That's right.
And
yep.
I had no idea that was even a local Augusta thing, and so it's like you're learning stuff from the amazing clues.
Yeah.
And it's just such a cool idea, and I think there's 3 more
boxes to
on.
the season. That's right. The tie into history, it's one of those things where we kind of view Windsor. When I was growing up, we would always go to like Fat Man's, and everybody had the bowl of peanuts, and this was the place you go. You run through the haunted house, you go to the back, and you look at the LGB train sets, and it becomes something that, it's like an icon. I feel like Windsor has become that in its own respect, and it's still here. And so, how could we share the vision of love for the community in a way that not only is marketing for us, but what better than history? But I do remember a lot of the small, unique stories that are very personal. And some of those can be pretty magical when you break them down and you try to see things the way they see them. And in this day and time, there's a lot of people that will see a time period that someone existed in, nothing that they did. They were just in a certain time period, and people will prejudge them about what they think that their lives or what they stood for was all about. I love the idea of breaking all that down and making you figure out that this is completely different than what you thought it was. Mm-hmm. And then and mixed in with that, there's all kinds of nuggets of history in our area that people have no idea happened And when they find out that it did, they're astonished that they didn't know. You know, and when we say that there's a lot, 7 years, you know, sometimes I have a rule that if you find this within 24 hours of me putting it out, that I'll put out another box. So I've been beaten, I think it was maybe 4 times.
4 times in 7 years.
4 times in 7 years.
They've only found it in.
And by the end of this year, I'll have, within the next 3, I think I'm on number 57 now. I'll have 60 times that I've went out and put this in the community. 60 times that I've gotten up and went out in the middle of the night or dressed up as a homeless person or...
I was just about to ask, what do you go, like what
I go through great lengths to not be seen.
So there's, like we said, there's 3 more for this year.
Yeah.
So why don't we go take a look
we can do that. That'll be cool.
Stuff that's left over for this year.
Yeah, sure.
Take this. Holy smokes. We are here with the last 3 prizes of the Windsor giveaway, and I'm in shock. These are epic prizes, but Shane's going to tell us a little bit more about the game in case y'all want to play along to win these amazing prizes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is we take the last 8 weeks of the year leading up to Christmas, and we put the box out on a Friday, and then we deliver these clues every day for the week. And whoever brings in this box and they find the clues or figure out the clues and bring in the box, and they get one of the prizes. Cool part is that the prizes start elevating in value all the way up into Christmas. So
I would say so.
Start about $3,500, and then they go all the way up to, this is $24,000.
$24,000.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So the neat part is that if you come into the store any day during the week, you get tomorrow's clue in advance. So what that does is, if whatever designer that we're featuring that week, we're going to have the clue sitting on top of that designer's case. So you get to come in, take a look at their jewelry, and then see tomorrow's clue. We don't do any photographs of it, so you have to hand write it down, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So you can't take a picture and then share it on social media. We try to keep it pretty organic, if that makes sense.
So there's a little, I guess you could say a Windsor Jewelers hack is you got to come into the store to get that next clue.
And then on top of that, this year and last year was the first year that we did it, but Gerald Jones Auto Group has also jumped on board with us, and this is really cool because what we do is for each of these boxes, the dealerships all have a single clue. So they share it among all the Gerald Jones Auto Group dealerships. And for every box, there's a single clue out there for each week. And you can go into their dealership. It's not online, but if you go in, you can get that clue and add it to your arsenal to try to figure this thing out.
Nice.
But if you find a box, you get entered into a chance to win a $35,000 car. So you have a 1 out of 8 chance if you find a box.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. So last year we had 8 people show up and one of them walked away, and it's really like a voucher. So they give you $35,000 to spend on any car that you want in their whole dealership line.
I never knew that about. I never knew that. That's crazy.
So it's kind of one of those things.
And 1 out of 8 is a really good chance to get a car.
It's a pretty good chance.
On top of
way better than
$24,000
tickets that you buy. Right.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. And we have people come in every day to get these clues while it's going on. And a lot of times the people that win are ones that get a head start, especially as the week goes on. The clues become a little bit more revealing because we do need somebody to bring in that box before next Friday.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Shane, you've told us how it got started. You've showed us the amazing prizes, but why don't you tell us how many people are participating and how they can participate at home?
Sure, absolutely. Well, this thing has grown over the years. As we said, it's been 7 long years of playing this game. We've grown it from, I think the first year we started, maybe had 30 people playing, and now we have over 10,000 people receive the daily clue. And we even have
10,000?
Yeah. So
10,000 people are looking.
So we text out the daily clue if you're on the list. And when we say on the list, if you visit greenboxgiveaway.com, you can kind of get all the information on how to play and stay up to date on what box we're on. And you can sign up and get those clues emailed to you or texted to you. But yeah, 10,000 people.
10,000 people.
And then all of a sudden, sudden they formed this Facebook group where they all started chatting about and trying to decode the things that I was saying and what's more entertaining to watch people fall apart in real time.
Yes.
You know, so that grew to maybe 70, I think it might be 7,200 currently that are in that. But it's, you know, overall, to go back to what we were talking about in the beginning, where, you know, it was about marketing, I would say that it kind of hit its apex in marketing maybe 2 years ago, where it jumped the most. And I can tell that by how many people sign up per day and all this stuff, because we still get users jumping on. But to me, like, it's one of those things that we now do it because people want us to do it.
Yeah.
It's become one of those things that I'm not as concerned about the marketing anymore. I don't send a bunch of marketing emails out or texts out or abuse the list or abuse the group and try to pitch sales. It really still is about just having fun.
Yeah, it's
and
all about the
connecting with
game.
the community.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything to play.
Yeah,
you come
that's
in,
the craziest part.
Yeah, there's no,
you can
there's
win
no purchase. You don't have to be a
25,000.
customer of ours. You can just play, and that's all we ask. And be nice to each other. Respect the places that you're searching, and make memories. Because if there's one thing that I love is hearing stories about how, hey, I hadn't spoke to my parents in years, didn't have anything in common. Now we talk about old stories from the city that they grew up in and how it's changed from how I've grown up. We hear about people getting out with their families and hiking in the woods when, you know, other than that, kids are glued to their screens.
Yeah.
So we've changed a lot. I feel like I've had an impact in that arena. And where, you know, I've had people say, hey, my sister's sick, we're gonna lose her in the next year, and her last wish is to hike and look for this box for the season. So when you hear things like that, or, you know, I've been in rough times and this has saved my life, and I heard that this year, you know, this is,
Man.
you know, that's not really marketing anymore. It's a community engagement.
I was gonna say,
it's more fulfilling in that arena than it ever would be for our store.
It's just a tradition now, just like
Yeah.
Windsor Jewelers is a tradition. Now the Windsor Jewelers green box is a tradition here in town, and it's been really amazing to hear the extent of the length you go to hide this box. But now after seeing the prize, it's well worth it. It's well worth the hunt. Holy moly!
For sure.
So 7 years, over 17,000 people are looking for this, and it's just amazing what you're doing for the community, and it's amazing what Windsor has always done for the community. I can't thank you enough for doing this, and happy hunting, everybody.
Good luck.
Y'all need to find these gifts.